He was driving fast, too fast, as if running from something. Rain slammed against the windshield sideways, fierce and relentless. Inside the car, the smell of old leather and silence. Eliekosi had just buried his grandmother. Mamako, the priestess, feared more than mourned. A village figure, a mystical rock, a shadow still looming, even in her grave. A curve, headlights slicing through darkness. Then, a car overturned, a wreck still smoking. He slammed on the brakes, a hellish vision rising from the soaked pavement. His shoes slipped in the mud. The engine still sputtered. A woman, unconscious, her head slumped against the wheel. And a baby, alive, soaked, screaming. The world stopped. Only the rain, the cry, Eli's heartbeat. He tore open the door, pulled the woman out. Too late. Her pulse was weak, then gone. Just one breath, one word before she left. Azael. The name hung there, an echo in the storm. He looked at the child. Tiny shaking body, fever-hot skin. He held him tight. He didn't know why, didn't think, just acted. It wasn't an accident, it was a message. A door opened into a past he thought was buried. And now, it had risen, soaked and screaming in the rain. The hospital smelled like bleach and stale coffee. The baby had been stabilized. No trauma, just shock. And that look, unnerving, too calm, watching. Eli watched too, sitting in the corridor, head in hands. He didn't understand what he was feeling. Not fear, not relief, just vertigo. A sense that his life had shifted, subtly but irreversibly. A nurse handed him a small object, a bracelet tied to the infant's wrist, worn but legible. Azael Kosi. His name, exactly the same. He swallowed hard. A coincidence? Number not with that look. Not after what he had felt. He ordered a DNA test, officially, for identification. In truth, to reassure himself or destroy himself. Hours passed slowly. Then the result came. The baby was of his blood. Elie gasped. He had never had a child. No memory. No doubt. But science doesn't lie. Someone had lied for him. Someone had tampered with his memory, his history, maybe his whole life. He looked up at the window. Beyond the glass, the city night seemed darker than the villages. He thought of Mama Ko, of the secrets she had taken or left behind. He had to return to Nolo, to find the truth, before it vanished forever. The bus stopped in a cloud of dust. Elie stepped off, suitcase in hand, eyes down. The village hadn't changed, but everything felt older, quieter. Mud huts, children's laughter in the distance, roosters perched on rooftops. Nothing had moved, except him. The sun burned overhead. Dust clung to everything. He walked slowly. People greeted him softly. Some looked away. The pastor's son, the doctor from the city, Mamako's grandson. He wore many names, but none truly his. Beneath the great kapok tree, Tatabele was waiting. The blind old griot seemed to have sensed his arrival. His voice was hoarse, deep, full of unspoken things. He spoke little, but each word struck like a drum. He spoke of a woman gone, a child of fire, a forbidden love, and a silence too long kept. Elie didn't need to ask questions. The name came from the griot's lips like a breath. Anaya. Something stirred inside him. A vague memory. Laughter near a well. Bright eyes in the dark. But nothing clear. Just a warmth. A faceless memory. Tatabile fell silent, then added softly, almost whispering, "The child you brought back is not your son. He is your truth." Elie shivered. He understood now. This return wasn't a choice. It was a path imposed. A call sent from the other side of time. And Golo, beneath its quiet surface, had things to say. things he might not be ready to hear. The door creaked open. A dark room, suffocating with dust and absence. This was where she had lived. Anaya, a dirt floor, rolled up mats, jars of herbs, a cracked mirror, and on a low table, a leather notebook. Eli took it, turned the pages. Fine, trembling handwriting, every word marked by deep solitude. A silent pain, a mother speaking to her son, like a ghost. She wrote to Azael, told of a forbidden love. One night, a gentleman, but distant. She never saw him again. Then, another man, colder, darker, and fear. The fear of being broken, punished. Anaya had fallen pregnant, not knowing who the father was. But Mama Ko, she had known, she had seen, she had erased. Through an ancient rite, she had taken from Eli the memory of that night. The journal ended on a single line. If you're reading this, it's because the ancestors wanted the truth to return. Eli closed the notebook. Blood pulsed in his temples. His past was a lie. And that lie had a name. And that name looked at him every day with wide, waiting eyes. Azael. Night had fallen. Beneath the great tree, the elders gathered. Torches burned. Faces were solemn. Hands clasped. The sacred drum was placed at the center. The wind carried whispers. Even the leaves seemed to hold their breath. 3 strikes. That's how the ancestors are summoned. 3 beats, then silence. 3 chances to speak truth. First strike. Long. Deep. The fire flickers. Crackles rise. Second. Sharp. Short. A breeze stirs. Embers whirl. Third. The drum splits. Literally. Cracked in half. The elders murmur. Some step back. This isn't a sign. It's a scream. A rupture. The griot stood. His voice solemn. The child belongs to the blood. But not the blood we thought. Eli froze. All eyes turned to him. Then, to the old pastor. His father. The man of God. The man above reproach. Mamako had erased Eli's memory. But it was to hide a deeper truth. More shameful. Older. Azael wasn't his son. He was his half-brother. The pastor walked away in silence, as if he had known all along. And Eli realized, blood never lies. But sometimes, fathers do. Eli spent the night in Anaya's hut. He held the child against him, as if trying to hold an entire world together. Morning came, slowly. The village was quiet. Too quiet. Even the roosters dared not crow. He went to the temple. The pastor was there, alone, wiping a chalkboard clean. Eli entered. No words, just eyes meeting. Then the old man spoke, his voice worn, broken. He talked about Anaya, her beauty, her rage. He spoke of a night when he abused his power, then his silence afterward. He spoke like a man vomiting poison. Eli clenched his fists, but didn't shout. He listened, because someone had to, because the truth couldn't die unheard, because Azael would one day need to know, and choose whether or not to forgive. He left. The sun blazed overhead, too bright, but he was no longer the same man. Days later, he announced he was staying, not to run from the city, but to rebuild, so the child would have a name, a story, dignity. So silence would end here. Nangolo breathed a little freer. The drums fell silent. The elder smiled. And Azael, in Eli's arms, opened his eyes at last, without crying.